Hello everybody. Thanks for putting up with the practice video for today. I really appreciate it. And so last week's practice video was quite intensive with the technique. And so this week's video is going to be intensive with the repertoire. And we're going to try to apply some of that technique with, getting a good sound and getting your notes started nicely and stopped nicely and those type of things. That's what we're going to work on, except on some tunes today. And again, we're not going to learn anything new. I've gone through and I've dredged up a whole list of tunes that we've done in the past that we're going to try to strengthen today, okay, with these new skills. So if you might remember, we did Rosebud of Allan Vale, beautiful tune that everybody in Cape Breton plays. Everybody. It's just a must-have. Even here in Ontario, everybody played it. Very well-known tune. Key of A. Also, Morag of Dunvegan, also in the key of A. And we did that ages ago. It's a must-have for Cape Breton beginner fiddle players. And it's a beautiful tune, beautiful old tune. High Road to Linton, also in the key of A. It's got some challenges. And what I was thinking of is with the slow pieces, we're going to be working on starting and stopping the notes cleanly, changing strings cleanly, but mostly bowing, a little bit of intonation, making sure we're clear with the intonation. We'll start off with A major, we'll strengthen it up and get it nice and brightly in tune before we start these tunes. And then we're going to switch to G, and we're going to work on a few tunes here I have in the key of G, such as the Irish Washerwoman, which is a really great one. Good for string crossing as well. And also in E minor, also in G, Off to California. Long time ago, we learned that tune. Long time ago. And it's not a hard tune. It's a real easy tune. Irish hornpipe in the key of G. And it'll be really good practice. And then we're going to do some E minor tunes. So the same shape of the hand. Absolutely the same shape and spacing as G. Except we're starting in E minor because E and G are relatives. They have the same key signature, G major and E minor. So we'll switch to the E minor, and we're going to do Drowsy Maggie and the Swallowtail Jig. And with those two, all we're going to do is just work on just steady, just playing them steady. We'll play them each 2 or 3 times. And so that's the plan for today. Now, some people are new to the class. And if you haven't learned these tunes, I've included the music for them. And you can go to my YouTube videos. I'll include links there for the YouTube videos of all these tunes played very, very slow. So you can go ahead and start working on them. And then for everybody else that's already done them, it'll be practice. Okay, and then next week we'll reconnoiter on Thursday, this coming Thursday, and we'll see how everybody's getting along with all that stuff. So today is repertoire, although we are going to play an A major scale first. All right, let's see here. I just tuned up my fiddle. So let's start off with A major, scale and arpeggio, to make sure everything's nice and brightly in tune. Here's your low A. So you can tune it. Everybody get that? Okay, here we go. A major scale, nice and slow. Ooh. That's what I had to do. Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry. Got to do a little of this to get that residue that sometimes makes them skip a little bit. Okay. That's better. Let's do it again. Ready? Go. I'd say we better try that again. I'm sure it was good, and I hope it was good. Let's strengthen. Do it one more time. Ready? Go. All right, now let's try the arpeggio at the same speed. One more of those right away. Ready, go. All right, A major. I hope that's coming in pretty well in tune there for you. Now, in reference to what we were working on last week, which was stopping the bow and starting the bow nice and clean, let's try that scale one more time. But this time we're going to do a complete complete stop in between each note, and this is challenging. And after we're done that, we're going to play Twinkle Twinkle with a complete stop between each note, just to touch in on what we worked on last time there and see if we can do it. It's not easy. Most people can only keep it up for a little while and then they just kind of connect it all. So let's see if we can really be strict and do a complete stop between each note, scale and then arpeggio. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Complete stop. Ready, go. Arpeggio. is a challenge. You just don't feel like doing that the whole time. Your bow just wants to move. And I noticed that I had a little slick start on the D string there. I have to see about that D string. That's better. But I also noticed, even though they're brand new strings, and I don't know if you can see it on the video there, no, not really, but there's a pit on my D string, meaning, yeah, you can see it right there. Right there. Little pit on my D string. And usually that's caused by your nails being too long. And so if your nails are too long and you lean into a note, it can dent the winding that goes around your string, and it's called a pit. And if you do it too much, then you can unravel that string before it's dent. It's happened to me lots of times. Now I keep nail clippers in my case, and I keep them real short. And even a little bit of nail will do that, especially the second finger, because it's the longest. And I don't know if you know this, but the second fingernail grows faster than all your fingernails on your hand. Anyway, so I feel like this D string might be a little suspect. Sometimes even brand new strings can be defective. I had a set from Long McQuaid one time, Parazzis, which are expensive, and they were dead. They were brand new off the shelf, but apparently they sat too long on the shelf. And when I put them on, they were unresponsive, and I couldn't understand why, and I thought it was me. And finally at Heimel, I took it to Heimel because I really thought there was something wrong with my fiddle, and they told me about the shelf life of strings, which I had no idea. So I'm gonna look into that D string. Anyway, let's try that one more time. Complete stop. One more time. Really strict. Here we go. Ready? Go. Arpeggio. Hopefully you got along okay with that. Now, Twinkle Twinkle. So, hopefully you guys all know Twinkle Twinkle. So, we're going to do it with a complete stop of the bow. Absolute dead stop after every note and starting every note clean. All right? So, brace yourself and let's do it. See if you can keep it up. And we're not going to go that fast. Let's go kind of like this. Like that. Okay, here we go. Ready, go. Ho, 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 a little sharp. My A string is traveling. That's better. Let's try it again. Okay, here we go. Complete stop. Ready, go. How did you do? Were you able to do it? Were you able to stop that bow? Or did it keep going a little bit? Did you have clean stops or did it sound like this? Because that's what we're trying to avoid and get better at. So if you looked at me, I was just motionless. Make the note motionless. Change to the next string if you need to. See that? You always try to make these moves. If you need to move to the next string or move your finger over to play the next note, you just try to do it beforehand, in between. That's when you're trying to get that choreography between finger and bow. Okay, that's all we're doing here. And we're trying not to let the bow move when you don't want it to move. It's very difficult. When you change strings, see that? It's just made a little note on me. Yeah, and I know that's what you're trying to avoid. So you want to change strings, you want to move the bow, stop it, then change strings. Look, and it's so hard. See that? That's what we're looking for. Okay, let's try it again. Same thing. Ready, go. best of luck to you. I hope you're able to do that. Go ahead and back up the video. Do it a few more times because it's a really, really good thing to do. And that went pretty well for me, I have to say. Okay, now let's take a look at something that's not too far off of the radar, which is Rosebud of Allen Vale. Beautiful tune. I think it's J. Scott Skinner. And we're going to give it a go here. And it's not fast, is the other nice thing. Let's see here. Rosebud. J. Scott Skinner indeed. Yes. And in the key of A. And it's not a fast tune, even at the fastest of times. It's a very easy going tune. And it goes a little like this. Okay, very, very simple. And I'm just going to play it. First of all, I'm just going to play it to remind you all how it goes. And I want you to, if you haven't done this tune before, then I want you to follow the music as I move along, as I play it. See if you can get the melody in your head and those fingerings. And luckily, like I said, it's a slow one, so we don't have to go fast with it if it is a new one. So let's give it a go. More Rosebud of Allen Vale, nice and slow. That's the Rosebud. Now, luckily, we got a few things going for us. The endings are the same, first, second part, and it's a very kind of intuitive melody. It doesn't have very many surprises. The only thing that's kind of a surprise is this here. And then again. See that? I love it. That's one of the things the tune is selling there. Other than that, it's very straightforward and arpeggiatic and scaly and not too hard. So let's give it a try all together. We'll go slower than that now for the people that might not have it right away. and we'll do it 2 times. Now, for the people that do, first of all, this is just a go in case you might not remember it or have to brush it up. And then we're going to try it with the mindful technique in mind. So nice clean starts and stops, and good long bows using the whole length of your bow. Trying to, if you did make those tape marks, trying to get from one to the other, trying to use as much as the bow, not cut off any notes. Keep her going right till the end. As my dad used to say, hold them into the boards until the buzzer's finished ringing for those dotted half notes. And that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to try to improve it. And you're going to keep your eye on your tuner glanceable to make sure you're up bright and high and bright enough. And that's with the key of A, that's the name of the game, is high and bright. So let's give it a go slower, like this. Ahead, dead slow. We're going to do it twice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. extremely slow Rosebud of Allendale. And like I said, I hope you were using that to work on the mindful approach that I was talking about. Good starts, good stops to the notes. Nice and clean, nice and in tune, and a steady bow. Now that's what I found challenging, going so slow. I found it challenging to move the bow slowly and steadily. I think I did a good job. I was looking at my tuner. Now, that's the tuner, the tunable tuner is a really good bow smoothness meter. So if you're looking at your tunable tuner, here, I'm just going to share my screen. Oh, I can't because this is a video. So if you're looking at your tunable screen, there's a little heart monitor line down the middle there. And that's there to tune the overtones of what you're doing. And it's really useful and very sensitive. Now, I know that you're not going as far as tuning the overtones of the tunes that you're playing there, and I don't think you should. At this stage of the game, that's really, really down the advanced rabbit hole. But what's good for a beginner with that heart monitor line is that it acts kind of like a bow smoothness meter. So when you have the tunable on there, and you kind of stop and start really drastically with your bow, you'll see that line will react along with you, and it'll really look like a sawtooth or whatever. And you know, you can hear that in the sound when you vary the speed of the sound. See, now you can hear all those different C's there, and it flattens as well, because when you put the brakes on, down goes the pitch right away, and then you speed up again, up she goes again. And so when you're trying to smoothen out your bow or move your bow nice and smooth from one end to the other, that little heart monitor line can be useful to do that. And again, you're not looking for perfection. For me, it's usually kind of like, whoa, a little bit wavy, but what you want to avoid is the sharp kind of heart monitor reaction if you're working on smoothness of bow. Now, let's speed her up a tiny bit and do it once more. Rosebud of Allendale. Hopefully, and if you need to, for the people that haven't done this tune before, you can go back, press pause, go back and play what we just did again. That slow, as slow as possible, Rosebud. And if you need any brush ups on the melody, that's your chance. And now, assuming you've done all that, let's give it a try a little bit faster. So kind of like this. So not much faster, but we're going to try it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Masters. Beautiful tune. One of the first ones I ever learned, actually. We did Rosebud, and then the Rowan Tree, which is a great march, and then Hawk Hey Johnny Lad, which is a great little Strathspey that we've done before, I think. And I think we've done the Rowan Tree, and then we did the High Road to Linton. So yeah, it was a great set. One of the first ones I remember learning. Okay, now we've done lots of good work on the mindfulness and on the Rosebud and the good bow movement. I want you to look at, for next time, look at High Road to Linton and Morag of Dunvegan, because we're going to work on those with this approach next time. But I do want you to concentrate on this one for this week. See if you can get those clean starts and stops and the steadiness of bow, okay? And if it's an intonation issue, sometimes if you're not quite in tune, your bow arm is a little hesitant. So if it's that's going on, then we're going to fix that. We're going to get that moving nice and steady and fake it till you make it and all that kind of thing. And then next week we'll take a look at Morag, which is sort of more of the same. And then we can work on the High Road to Linton and all of the same stuff except up the tempo. So look at High Road to Linton and Morag for next time. Now let's switch keys. Let's switch to the G, and we're going to work on the Irish Washerwoman, because it's been so long and it has some challenges. Okay, so Irish Washerwoman, but first we're going to work on G. So let's go up and down our G major, remembering the differences between G and A. Okay, here we go. Ready, G. Arpeggio. Lots of work on G. So let's do one more. We're going to pick up the pace a tiny bit, do one more G major. A 1, 2, 3, and... G major, gotta love it, the people's key. Now, Irish Washerwoman. Been a while, definitely. Great tune. It's actually a Scottish tune. People think it's an Irish tune, but it's a Scottish tune that kind of, it's one that kind of, I don't know, it pokes fun a little bit at the stereotype of the Irish wife, you know, who's a washerwoman with the rolling pin and everything. Anyway, but it's a really fun tune, no question about it. And I managed to find a decent version on the session.org there that we've been using, and it'll work. Okay. Now the challenge with this tune, it's not a hard tune. It's an easy tune. It's a normal beginning tune for fiddle. But the challenge with it is the string crossing. That's what everybody talks about. And also, we're going to work on something here in this tune, which is keeping your fingers down until you need to pick them up. And in this tune is a really good example. So that third finger on the D string, I keep down a lot in this tune. All right? Of course, you starts and stops, and changing strings with just the hand. That's the big challenge, and that's why we're going to work on this tune. So first of all, I'm going to play it not too fast for the people that might not already play it, and just follow along your music that I've sent you while I play this not too fast, okay? See if you can make sense of it. So that was your reminder go. That's how it goes. And you can see me holding that third finger down for a lot of it. Something to get good at, something to keep in mind, because I do a lot of that. I keep my fingers down till absolutely necessary. And then the nice thing about that is that if you look at the first couple of bars there, you got to play G on the D string, D3. You got to play that 5 times in the first 2 bars of the tune. And so if I leave my finger down, every time I go back to it, it's going to be exactly the same G, not a slightly different G. And it really helps with the strengthening. Because most of the time, you know, if you go to play 2 Gs and you put your finger down twice, you're going to get 2 slightly different ones. And it makes you sound a little bit less consistent, a little bit less solid. And so it really helps with the strengthening of the tune. So now, we're going to give it a go 2 times. If you need to go back and follow along again, press pause, back up the video, get your music out, follow along once more, see where all those D3s are, and let's see if we can play it really nice and slow. We're going to do it 2 times. Now, this isn't getting familiar, but what you want to keep in your mind, and if you already played the tune and are familiar with it, keep in your mind a solidly
calm right elbow, not a wandering elbow. You're going to try hard to do these string crossings using just your hand, okay? I'll count you in. A 1, 2, 3. washerwoman. Lots of challenges. With the melody, and with the bowing, and with the string crossing, and everything like that. Now we're going to have one more go at it. One more. Tiny bit faster. And then this week again, we spent a long time this week working on these tunes, and I think that's really excellent. Is I'm hoping that you're keeping these things in mind and trying to get the best sound you can, and the cleanness and the intonation at this speed, and keeping your fingers down if possible, using just your hand. These are all the things that are important now today. So we're going to try one more time a little faster. In the meantime, next week, take a look at Drowsy Maggie, Off to California, and the Swallowtail. We're going to try one of those next week, okay? And I want to see what people think of the whole thing. So one more time, slightly faster with the Irish Washerwoman, and that'll be it for this week. And next week we're gonna work on those other tunes. Okay, slightly faster. So kind of like this. Okay, so it's positively a trot. Here we go. Ready, 2, 3. All right, well, I worked you hard. I made you do a lot of playing during this video. And again, if you had any trouble with the Bits of Irish Washer Room or anything like that, just pause, go back, go to the slow, do it again, try it again, see if there's anything you can work out in the slow before you go to the fast, which we just did. It's not fast, but pretty fast, okay? And then, like I said, next week, High Road to Linton, more Egg of Dunvegan, Drowsy Maggie off to California, and possibly the Swallowtail. We won't get to all of them, but I'd like you guys to look at them, and we're gonna flesh out all this repertoire that we've either already learned for some of you or are learning for some of you new. And they're all very good tunes to have under your belt. And those of you that already have them, going to get them stronger, going to get them into something you can pull out and play. Okay, thanks everybody. And we'll see you on Thursday as per abnormal. Thanks again.